the South Strips in Target and everywhere, and then like
I think people seeing attractive girls eat candy is probably a lot more enjoyable than a bunch of, my ugly mug eating candy. Um,
I'm not a normal person now. I'm like social media influencer. I'm a YouTuber now.
really, it's only gonna be the loudest people in the room are gonna be the negative, the naysayers and whatnot. And I follow a lot of YouTubers, and there's a lot of people that I get a lot of creative inspiration from. Luckily, with my YouTube channel, I'm able to just organically kind of vlog my life, so it's less stress of like production time and team and setting up and lighting and all that jazz.
What's up, guys? So welcome to Be Frank podcast. Today's episode is a special. It's a Zoom podcast, but special occasion calls for a special guest, and then I'm gonna welcome the owner of the South Strip and the legendary YouTuber, my favorite YouTuber, Maxx Chewning. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you. Man, do you interview a lot of YouTubers and tell them that they're your favorite YouTuber? You better not say that to everyone, dude.
No, really, literally, like I think you're the first YouTuber I interview, anyways.
Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to come on the show. Thank you for having me, and I'm ready to chat it up, dude. Chop it up.
So thank you. So that you're my favorite YouTuber, but like I was watching your episode, and then you wanted to have a guest for your Don't Be Sour show. You wanted to have Eminem on your show, right? And then
That'd be a dream.
so if you invite Eminem to the show, what would you ask him?
Man, I actually, it's one of those things that like he's my favorite rapper, and I would love to ask him so many things, but I've never actually thought about what I would actually ask him. I think the biggest thing is more of why does he live such a life of secrecy and like in the shadows? For someone who is as big as he is, you see all the time the tabloids of people following around the Kardashians, or this celebrity did this or that. Like, you never hear anything about Eminem. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. You don't see him out in the streets. You don't you never know what he's doing. He doesn't post on social.
Yeah.
But then he just drops an album and he's still so popular. But like, what do you do all day, Eminem? Do you watch Netflix? Like, do you watch The Office? Like, what do you do? Because
Yeah.
you're not on social. Do you follow social even though you don't post? Like, is that a choice? So I'd love to dive into his hermit crabness.
Like, do you ever reach out, or like did you DM or?
He doesn't even run his own social media, man. I don't know who to reach out to. I don't foresee it happening, but it'd be cool if it did.
And I think it will happen like sometime. I mean, honestly, like you posted a story, and then I follow your YouTube, but like Instagram story, like like if I was happened to be on your story, and then you said this is email. I'm like, is this real email? I was like curious, but I sent the email. So what made you decide to do this podcast tour?
Like I said, I've been doing the podcast thing for about a year now, and luckily with my network of people, it was easier in the early stages to get guests that I was interested in talking to, and that had whether it be business owner, influencer kind of stories. But getting to the end of my network and the people that I have in my circle, it's difficult to get people to respond, difficult to get people to line up their schedule. So I was like, hey, I'm dealing with this frustration and worry about where's my next episode going to come from. And I mean, you can always like get anyone, but I think when you run a podcast, it's not about just getting any individual. It's about getting people that you're interested in hearing from them, kind of thing. And like, so I was like, hey, I'm dealing with this struggle. Maybe there's a lot of people that for some reason maybe want to have me on their show. And why don't I clear a little time in my schedule to, help people out, at least let them get like one episode ahead. So if I can help them out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we had about 15 to 17 people lock in some times. And this week is the final push on them. We have 4 today, which is, 4 to close to 5 hours of my day kind of taken up.
Yeah.
But it's something that I've blocked it out, and I'm excited to chat. And the conversations have been really cool.
Awesome. So like, I mean, like your YouTube, like honestly, like I was having conversation with my graphic designers, and then like when you travel around the world, like a beach, and then like scuba diving on like a swimming a shark or something like that, you can make it interesting. But like if some people can make breakfast interesting, that's the most creative person. And then like your YouTube and the vlog and the day-to-day life, and then you showcase like pretty much you showcase your day-to-day life, and then you make everything your own way and a unique way, and then such an inspiring things that like I think that that inspired me to do that, do this YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But who inspires you to do this like YouTube things?
I came in the scene in like 2013, so I've been surrounded by a lot of people who have just been kind of like elevating the game. I've been friends with Christian Guzman for a long time, and he was kind of always like stepping it up, and really just everyone. I follow a lot of YouTubers, and there's a lot of people that I get a lot of creative inspiration from. And there's a lot of people that I get business inspiration from. There's not like one single individual. I just kind of pull it from everyone who's, I look for driven people who are doing their damn thing and continuing to improve on it. And I try to take inspiration from all of these people to help, push my businesses and my YouTube channel forward. So it really comes from everywhere.
That's awesome. And then I've seen, David, How to Beast, and Christian, and then you guys like grow together, and I think that's such a beautiful things. And then I know you guys, I mean, you do put out the content every week, and then like, do you like how long does it take to make like one vlog video? Like, what's the process? Do you have like Monday, Tuesday, hey, I'm gonna film this? Like, do you have like set schedule and a set editing time? Like, how do you manage to make a video?
I don't really have like a schedule or anything. It's just I kind of like each week I look at, I'm like, okay, is there anything out of the ordinary happening this week? Is there any, new warehouse I'm touring or something? So then I can kind of plan around, okay, I want to include these things that are happening this week, so we're going to film on that day. It's not like every Tuesday I film. For example, this week, I'm going to get a vlog out for Sunday, but I haven't thought about it at all. I haven't filmed anything yet. And now with it being what is it, Tuesday, Wednesday right now? Yeah. The clock's ticking down. So I will but luckily, I can film a day in the life vlog and do the same things that I normally do, but just kind of film them in a different way, add a little couple different things of humor in there. So I guess to film the video, it takes a whole day, but I'm only filming a couple parts of that day. But luckily with my YouTube channel, I'm able to just organically kind of vlog my life. So it's less stress of like, production time and team and setting up and lighting and all that jazz. And then the actual editing process really doesn't take me long, because I don't do like super intricate edits. I don't open After Effects. I'm not getting into all these crazy effects. I'm not trying to make these like movies. I'm just trying to make enjoyable, easy to watch content. And, even if I have like drone footage and all that stuff in the video, I'd say an average vlog for me, if it has like drone shots and B-roll and all that, maybe an hour to edit it up.
Takes an hour. That's super fast.
Yeah, it just, because again, it's different because not only have I been doing it for a long time, the way that I film my videos, I know exactly how I'm going to edit it as I'm filming it. So I'm filming very specific shots that I know, okay, I'm going to, pull. It's like, I always do these scenes where I'm like driving and I have like, Eminem playing in like the car, for example. I'm driving somewhere. Like, I just know, okay, later down the road, I need to film a scene of me driving, and then I can put that before I went to Best Buy, and that'll show me going to Best Buy. And so I'm like thinking about how the video is going to flow as I'm filming it. So when I sit down to edit it, I already know where everything needs to go, because I filmed it that way. It's not like I film a bunch of random shit and then I just sit down and try to make a video. I'm filming it as if I'm filming it in a specific order, so that it's easier for me to edit.
That makes sense. Like you jump into the bed, and then there's a Helix mattress commercial comes out.
Now you never know where it's going to jump out and catch you.
So do you like film YouTube stuff, and then do you film like Instagram story like okay, I film the YouTube stuff, I film the Instagram. Like, do you do that like a back to back, like at the same time?
No, I mean, what's interesting about Instagram is because I still consider myself a YouTuber. So a lot of times I feel like my Instagram stories, not that my YouTube's not, but I feel like my Instagram is probably repetitive on my stories. It's because I a lot of people treat their Instagram stories like a vlog of here's what I'm doing today, but I want to show I'm trying to like get you to watch my YouTube videos, so I want the Instagram to just be very small snippets of what the YouTube is. I don't want you to not need to watch my YouTube because I showed you everything that I was already doing in my Instagram story, and it's like the exact same thing. So I try to find a balance where you can you can be entertained on both, but I still put YouTube as a top priority in terms of like that's where the real content's going to be. So the way I try to view it is if you watch me on Instagram, the stories and my content, if you like that and you think that's good or funny or whatever, the YouTube is, the elite version of this. So it's like really go over there and spend 10 minutes watching the YouTube videos because that's where you're going to get the actual entertainment.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I always wonder like like how many like hours, like how many hours are you guys spending? And then but also like when you vlog, like you try to park your car and then camera's outside. I'm like, is there somebody behind the camera, or like you just put the camera and then you drive first, park first, and then does that make sense? How do you do that?
Yeah, so when I do these little scenes of me like driving in, the whole idea is to just establish the scene of where I'm at or that I am driving somewhere. So I don't have to be like, all right, we drove to Best Buy. Instead, I can put a scene of the Best Buy storefront like I did in my last video, and then my car driving in. So then I don't need to say, all right, so we're at Best Buy. It's like you can see that I'm at Best Buy. That's the idea behind it. But what I generally do is I pull my car into where I'm going to park, and then I get out and then I set the camera up so I know where the shot's going to be. I know where the car is going to end. I set the lighting for the shot to make sure it's not blown out, and then I'll focus on my car, and then I'll put it on manual focus so that it doesn't like catch focus beyond the car and then try to catch it when my car pulls in. It's the focus is not going to change. And I also lock the white balance as well so that essentially when my car's pulling in, nothing's going to change about the scene. My car's not going to change the white balance of the shot. It's not going to change the focal. So it's really quick kind of setup. And then I do the little transition that I've kind of like coined where I like, as soon as the car comes to a stop, it's like I pick the camera up and it's almost as if I've like transported out of the car,
Yeah.
and do it. And when I do that, it's like I park and I leave the camera running, and then I get out and then I turn the camera, I switch it back to autofocus, and then I make sure that as soon as I flip it around, I know exactly what I'm going to say because I can't really mess that up or else it'll throw the whole scene off. So yeah, it's like this one little thing. So it's just I try to keep the videos just engaging. So these little tiny things that you don't have to be into cinematography and these camera tricks, but it's more of like, it just kind of, you never know kind of what's coming and like it catches you off guard. And I think that helps with the engagement and the enjoyment of the videos.
And for sure, it's a very creative way, and then it's inspiring to me because you're doing by yourself, and like you don't have to rely on everybody. But also like you're like at home or whatever, like you're buying stuff, and then you do like a toy or whatever, like making noises and all that kind of stuff. Whenever like you're filming like in the public, like were you always like didn't care like around like a people what other people think, or like is that like over the years you develop it like that kind of I guess like
Yeah,
a
no, I mean,
balls.
I think it's one of those things that like you just have to accept that people are always going to think you're weird and think you're kind of doing weird things. So it's like, doesn't really matter if you're, if you're filming or whatever. It's like, who cares, And the only time it becomes awkward is when I have to repeat myself in a joke or repeat myself, or I say something and I meant to say something else, and I have to
Right.
like refilm a scene in public and people hear me repeat myself. Then it can get a little weird, but I'm like, look, I'm just doing my thing. I don't really care. Like, go check out the channel.
Yeah. So like a way. So I was wondering because like I watch your channel with my girlfriend sometime, and then because like she doesn't watch like other like people I follow, but like you're like funny, positive, so like she likes that. But also like she was wondering like where like he shares so much about his life, and then you put your girlfriend Taylor and stuff, right? Like where like does she say, hey, don't film this sometime, or like the or like do you have like a do you draw the line somewhere like where are you not gonna share or you share or like you pretty much share everything like what what do you where do you draw the line to share about your life from the YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just that fine balance of showing enough but not showing too much and keeping personal things personal. And it kind of gets a little confusing sometimes because then the audience might think if you don't film something, then you're trying to hide it. You show everything, but why didn't you show this? And so it can get a little complicated. But for the most part, people are pretty understanding about certain things not being filmed. Taylor's never actually said like, "Can you not film this?" or "Don't film today" or something. I've been doing this for long enough, and I know how to make my content, and I know like what's going to make or break the video. And most of the time, if I need to not film something, it's not going to be the end of the world if I can't put it in the video. It's like, for example, this Friday, so in like 2 days, like last night we were walking, like I was like, oh, let's go to this new steakhouse or a steakhouse that I haven't been to. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that might be kind of like some cool content, like at like a nice like a steakhouse, add to the vlog. I haven't shown me like at a steakhouse in for a long time, so it's kind of something different. But then I was like, actually, I think I'd rather just spend time with my girlfriend rather than being like, oh, bring the camera out and like show all these things. So who knows? I may still film, but like, certain aspects, it's like I film every day. So I want to show her that, I can still spend time with her and go do things and not feel like everything has to be for content or everything. And I found a good balance on it. So
That's awesome because like I think I love that your episode you talked about like you or buying the car for your sister or something like that, and then a lot of people like say about like why you have to showcase you're
yeah.
buying a car and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, not many people can buy a car for their sisters, and
Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of people appreciate the gesture. Really, it's only going to be the loudest people in the room are going to be the negative, the naysayers and whatnot. And the way I look at it is, it's like, did that video help my channel a lot? Sure. Was that the intention? Did I buy her a car so I could film it? No. For me, it's like the way I kind of like, if anyone ever says that, in my mind, I'm like, guys, I show everything in my life. Like, so why wouldn't I show a positive thing I'm doing? Like, if I show everything, who cares? Like, when I donate to charity, I'm going to tell you about it. When I'm going to do it, I share everything. And the idea is, if I can inspire, if I can show someone that a guy who kind of came started from the bottom can now afford to buy his sister a car and he's doing good things, so maybe that triggers someone to be like, damn, that's cool. I want to do something cool for my family. And again, those aren't the intentions why I'm doing it. I just think of it more of, I'm doing something in my life. I film my life. Why wouldn't I film the positive things I do? It's like,
Mm.
why am I going to hide? I'm going to show everything, but when I do something good, I'm not going to tell you about it.
Yeah, I mean that certainly inspired me, and a lot of people probably inspired because like I think it's such a admirable thing to do. And then like I mean I was curious because of you started, I don't know, you call yourself influencer or just a YouTuber, but like whenever you started like 10 years ago, like you're probably not getting like engagement as it is like right now, like Instagram or anything like that. Like they get likes and comments. Like, is there a certain point that, you know, like throughout this YouTube journey, like one video after this video or after this moment, oh, like, okay, now I'm not a normal person now. I'm like social media influencer. I'm a YouTuber now. Is there like a comments start rolling in, and like is there like one video it took to where you are now? Like is that gradual thing? Like do you remember?
Yeah, no, it's just always been gradual. It's like, I've been making videos for a long time, and it was kind of like, you keep making videos, you keep growing, you keep putting out content, you're going to keep growing. And it was just this, you know, this like treadmill that I kept kind of going on of like, if you keep putting out the content, you should grow and you should keep getting bigger. And then, we started growing a couple businesses from the social media audience, which is great because, you're your rise on a social media platform can only last for so long. Eventually people are going to grow up. You're not going to be relatable anymore. They're going to move on. They're going to start life and stop watching YouTube. Someone else is going to come up. So I think starting a business is something that everyone should do if they're doing this, unless you have this it thing about you where you can just be relevant in people's lives and, you know, for forever, which is not likely.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, so like I did it like a kind of opposite way of how you did it. Like I came to United States kind of by myself whenever I was like high school, and then you know, I went to college and then right in the college I started like a video production company and then start doing the business, and then it took me about 8 to 10 years to like my company is sustainable. I don't really have to be there all the time kind of situation. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start YouTube, and then I wanted to do that. So kind of I did a company first, and then I did a YouTube. But like you did the opposite. You did a YouTube, and then you made a company. But some people like me, did the opposite way. What kind of advice would you give them to do the YouTube?
I think there's no right or wrong way to start your journey on life. So whether you start a business first and go into YouTube or the vice versa, I think YouTube's an excellent platform. I think it's the best way to connect with people. Unlike anything else, you know, obviously Instagram stories and TikTok have been able to get people more involved in others' lives, but there's something special about YouTube that, you know, with TikTok and stories, people are just kind of scrolling through, but like YouTube is, people are intentionally clicking on a video to sit down to dedicate time to watch a piece of content. And I think there's something special about that you can capture, you know, 10, 15 minutes of people's time, you know, a couple times a week to, you know, sit down and watch your stuff. And the community you're able to build and I think the enjoyment you'll find is so strong. And I mean, but it's also like, it's also one of those things that you got to do it because you really like doing it, rather than I'm just doing it to make money or I'm doing it whatever. Where now people are starting these things because they want to make a bunch of money, become popular, leave their job. And, you know, that's not a wrong reason, but it's if your only intention is to do it for this monetary gain, you're going to have this timeline in your head that if it doesn't happen in 6 months, you're going to give up. If it doesn't happen in a year, you're going to give up. Or, you know, I've been doing it for 10 years and I really just have started catching my stride, you know, like 4 or 5 years ago. So even that was doing it for half of a decade. And people are out here thinking they're going to become, you know, millionaires in 3 months off TikTok or something. You know?
Yeah, TikTok is crazy. I mean, like, so you're saying about the love of like YouTube and stuff, and then I mean, I've been watching like your video like about uh, powerlifting, right? Like you do powerlifting, and then I myself train for like MMA stuff and the fighting stuff and do the fitness stuff. And then I had like a family kind of situation, and I had to pause uh, for the next fight camp or whatever. And then I was meeting at the guy at the bar, and then I was talking to him, and he was like, "Hey, are you a fighter, Yosuke?" And then like I'm like, made me really think like if I'm like define myself as a fighter, and then I probably don't define myself as a fighter, and then I'm like that there's more important things for me in life that I'm fighting right now, and I have a lot going on, and then okay, so this is I don't have to struggle. So like you know, you're talking about powerlifting and all that kind of stuff, and then I was curious like, do you define yourself powerlifter?
No, definitely not anymore. I'm just I don't even know what I'd consider myself in the fitness world. I'm in a maintenance phase in my life where I'm very happy with the way that I look. I'm very happy with the strength levels I have on all of the workouts that I'm having. You know, I say this, I say that like that's not talking about the bench, squat, and the deadlift, because I consider those like powerlifting movements, even though, you know, you can do those without being a powerlifter. But as far as all the normal movements, I'm fine with just if I can maintain that strength. And with powerlifting, it's something that uh it was a big part of my life for so long, and I hit a lot of monumental and huge milestones in lifting. And I think that I'm content with those numbers, and I don't really need to push my body beyond that. And I think some people would maybe look at it as giving up on something, but I've achieved great things with it. I don't need to keep going on it. So I think the powerlifting is something that I'm probably gonna maybe hang up a little bit. But you never know what the future holds, man. I could get back into it. I could get into other stuff. But right now, I just consider myself I guess people either consider themselves bodybuilders or powerlifters, but I guess I'm just a gym goer. I don't know. I don't know how I
I
define
mean,
myself.
fitness, like YouTube or whatever, right? Like athlete, ghost athlete, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, cause like you had so many transition moment of from like YouTube, like you're doing like a fitness content to vlog stuff, and then powerlifting to maybe not powerlifting, and then ever forward to South Strip. I mean, you have both, but like what like how do you like do you have the moment of get okay, like I'm gonna like focus on this, or like fizzle out, like it's just like I think I saw so many of like your transition through YouTube, and then I was like, man, like how can he transition this much to focus on it and to be successful? Like, what would you do to transition one thing to another?
I mean, I guess you just do what's kind of makes you happy. And I think there's a lot of times when I will, um, be back and forth in my head about like, oh, I need to, do this one thing, or else everyone's not gonna, be interested in me. But it's like at the end of the day, I think it's not that big of a deal to like try to do different things and expand on what you're doing. And you think you identify with one thing for forever, so that's like only thing you're gonna do. But I think you can try different things and you can see what you enjoy. And at the end of the day, life's just about happiness and trying to find like our purpose, right? So why be tied down to one specific thing? And it's okay to let other things go and let things be a stepping stone for something else in your life, or to be like, hey, that was a period of time where I got X return on it, whether it be enjoyment, satisfaction, money, for example, if you have a business and you're like, hey, I'm done with this, I'd like to move on to the next one.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, so like talking about the happiness and all that kind of stuff, and then like so that guy, same guy who told me about like fighting and stuff, like, hey, are you a fighter? And then that same time, it was kind of like a life changing time at the bar, kind of for me. And then he asked me about the life goal, and then he told me about like, hey, my life goal is to drink a beer in every continent. That's like makes me
Every
happy.
continent?
Yeah, that's what his dreams are, or his
Okay.
like life goals. And then like he asked me, what is your life goal? And then like I'm like, well, I have a goal for like next month, next 3 months, and next 5 years, but I don't know if I have a life goal. But what is your life goal to like? What is your life goal?
Just be happy, man. I think for a long time it was like I need more money, I need more money. And I think whenever the hedonic treadmill will get you, and you think that, once you hit your financial goal, you're just going to want more and more and more, and that can't be your goal forever. And I think just finding a balance of enjoyment. And I think meeting my girlfriend has really opened my eyes to that there's more to life than just working and stressing about business and money and all that jazz. So yeah, just happiness and fulfillment. And um I think my life goal is to leave an impact in some sort of way on the world. And it sounds kind of like a cliche type of like big thing to think about, but if I want maybe, it's like little things. It's like, did me getting dude in, inspire a lot of people who were thinking about get a dog, get a golden doodle, and they're like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I love that. And Max caused me to get this golden doodle, and I love the golden doodle, right? Like little things, like just something that I could do that could have an impact on someone. I think that with the sour strips, it's super cool that kids growing up now, this could be their favorite candy when they were kids, in the future. And it's just cool. I think leaving an impact on the world. It doesn't have to be, I solved world hunger. I'd like to do that, but it's like it can be on a smaller level. And I think just finding fulfillment is really what everyone's kind of setting out to do.
That's awesome. I mean, you do like a deadlift for the dude, and then you contribute to like nonprofit and something like that. What do you guys do for deadlift for the dude? Like, what nonprofit you guys donate to?
So we're actually finishing tallying up all the donations from the recent event we did, which is, I believe, is around like $15,000, which is great. And we'll be donating that to the Houston SPCA, I think it's called, but it's an animal shelter here in Houston, but it's a large one. They rehabilitate a lot of animals, from dogs and cats to eagles and horses, so it's like they're on all the range. And yeah, so I think doing cool things like that and giving back is something that I very much like to do. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to host these events and raise money for good cause, and be in a place where we can put on these events and not need to take any profit from them and just give back. And yeah, super cool.
I think that's awesome. I mean, I would like to do that, something like that someday. And then like you talk about a lot about like financial stuff too on the YouTube, like be kind of like you're frugal sometimes, but like you spend money on the stuff. But like a donation is like opposite of frugal, right? Like where like do you like budget it out and stuff, or like that's something passionate about, so it doesn't really like account as.
I don't really like budget really anything. It's just like if I choose to do something and it costs X, then let's do it.
Yeah. Then I mean like I was curious, so like you and the How to Beast David, right? Like you guys became friends, and then so like he was YouTuber, and then he went to like Houston Alphalete, and then is that how you guys met, or?
Yeah, he came up to me at the gym actually, and I had just recently found his YouTube channel before that. This is a couple years ago, probably like 3. Yeah, and then him and his now wife Julia moved to Houston, and then unfortunately they moved away, and now they live in Spain. And he was actually just here this weekend, and then I'm going to visit him along with some other business stuff I'm doing over in Spain. Excuse me. In like 3 weeks actually. See, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, in 3 weeks from today, I'll be hanging out with David in 3 weeks in Spain. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You guys going there again?
Yeah. We went for his wedding for a while back, but yeah, no, I'm excited to see them, see Julia, see the pups, and it'll be a good time.
That's awesome. So like I was curious that whenever you guys like like as an adult, right? Like making a new friend is kind of hard, right? And then like so as a YouTuber and influencer, like people have an eye on you. Like whenever you are making friends, like from at the stage of your life, like all the new friends are all like social media people, or like do you make new friends in like not people in the industry?
I mean, I have a lot of friends that I grew up with that aren't on like social media. But now just with the world and the culture that I'm in, most people that I become friends with are on social of some level, because that's just like, who I surround myself with. So, but you don't have to be a social media influencer to be friends with me. You just got to be a normal person that we get along. We have like-minded interests. Obviously now with me being more heavily into business, I lean towards, being around people who are business owners and entrepreneurs. And so we can kind of, compare and contrast what works, what doesn't. And yeah, it's I'm open to all people.
So that what is like whenever you made a South Strip, right? I think I'm all over the place right now to asking questions. So that South Strip, whenever you came up with the South Strip, like what was like why did you like the sour candy? Like I can make it better. Like what went through your mind?
So I've just been a diehard candy fan my entire life, specifically sour candy, ever since I was like, 10 years old. I remember going to the store, walking up down the aisles and just like looking at all the candy that's on the shelves and being obsessed with eating it. And, it was kind of something that just made sense. I was like the candy guy. I always talked about them. I was always eating it. When I'd go to expos, people would bring it to me, and it just kind of made sense. And I got a lot of inspiration from Christian when he started his energy drink company, 3D. And I was like, oh wow, we can do things that are outside the normal business ventures that are, fitness influencers like do, right? So I can do more than clothes. And it just kind of made sense, as weird as it is. And it just happens that I launched it in a industry like the fitness industry, which is strange in itself because the candy has nothing to do with fitness. It's just, candy that your, you know, niece or nephew would like, and they don't care about fitness at all. And there's nothing, there's no pre-workout or anything in it. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. I didn't expect it to be as popular as it is. And it's something that we're keeping up with. And it's now like one of the largest focuses in my world.
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy. There's house strips in Target and everywhere, and then like, do you? When was that like a time like, oh damn, this is like a real like whenever it went to a Target or like what was
Yeah,
like?
when it was, I mean, I remember getting in our first gas station, it's just surreal going into places that I frequent, right? So when we got into HEB, which is a grocery chain that's here in Texas, that's really popular, with like over 300 locations, it's like I got my groceries from there, and then now we're selling a product in there, and it's just been super surreal to see places that I, went, like in my hometown of Roanoke, Virginia, like the mall that I would go into when I was 9 with my dad, like we're in the stores in the mall now. And it's like, it's just, it's really, really surreal. And it's when I go down the aisle and I see people with their kids and they have like sour strips in their, shopping cart, I'm like, that's when it hits me of like, oh damn, that's mine. That's crazy.
That is so cool. And now, because like Sour Strip, like an Instagram account, like you have bunch of like Sour Strip posts and all that kind of stuff, and then you use models and tailor and stuff. But I don't see you don't put yourself like in the Instagram feed on the Sour Strip. Why is that?
I think people seeing attractive girls eat candy is probably a lot more enjoyable than a bunch of, my ugly mug eating candy. No, it was something I wanted sour strips to live beyond me, and I didn't want my social media to be the only driving force in the brand. So, and I'd rather people have, the dream of anyone who starts a business, and everyone should agree with this, is that the dream is that people who are buying your product, your service, whatever, they're buying it and they have no idea who you are. And that's truly that it's bigger than you. And everyone wants to get to that point. And I wanted to get to that as fast as possible. And I didn't want, the success of my personal brand to be the driving factor of this brand. And now we're in a fortunate position where a very large amount of our sales are from people who, have no idea who we are, which is lovely.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Like, I mean, I've talked so many people say, "Hey, you're gonna be on this show," and then like, I was like so excited, and this is a YouTuber, and then like I say, "Hey, yeah, he owns South Strip." Everybody knew about South Strips, and
That's what we like. That's
and then what is the like a next things for the South Strip? Like you're saying, like some like a retailer, like you can't put it, but like as a candy business, like what's the next thing more than like Target, like is that like Walmart or like whatever? Like what's the next thing for the South Strips?
So we're actually in a lot of Walmarts at the moment. I mean, we're just looking to expand into every retailer that we can, get them into the popular places that people frequent. It's like you want your brand to be accessible to everyone. Maybe there's not a Target near you. Okay, so it's like what stores are near you? How do we get it in there? So just expanding into retail is definitely the largest focus for us right now, and some other large things that are going on behind the scenes that will unfold over the next like 6 to 8 months that I'll be able to share with my audience, at when the time's right. But yeah, some exciting things are coming within the next like year or so, and I can't wait to take everyone else on the journey. But it's, every day I'm just learning more and more about the business. I'm learning how to run it. I'm learning what works, what doesn't. I'm spending a lot of money on things I shouldn't and making mistakes, and I'm trying to take the audience along with me. So it's a very cool journey I'm on.
Yeah, that's cool to see your journey. Is that buying that truck? Was that worth it for you?
The delivery truck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's what's crazy is for a while we didn't have one. We would rent the truck or use like what the employees like pickup truck, and now we use that giant box truck like twice a day. So yeah, it's absolutely been it was a good purchase.
That's awesome. So like you do sales strips and like YouTube, and then you have a lot of business, and then you say you don't really have like schedule set for like YouTube and stuff, but like how do you manage your time
I
to
don't. I just kind of YOLO it every day, and I'm not trying to sound like a cool guy. Like I have my morning routine. It's like I wake up at 6:30 to 7 every day. Take my shower, walk my dog, take my greens, get my energy drink, and then I sit down on the computer, and then I just kind of think about what I need to do that day. I don't have like a list that says here's the three things I'm going to accomplish. I don't have a schedule. I don't have time blocked out of certain things. I don't have uh like a calendar. I don't have like an assistant. I don't have any of that. So I just kind of whatever I decide to do that day, I'm going to work towards something. I don't know what that is, but it's kind of like structured chaos. I understand it up in my head. I know the big picture things I need to get done. Do I slip on some things? Yeah, but I've tried having a schedule in the past, and it's just not for me. Not to say it won't ever be, but right now I like I like running my life how I run my life.
yeah, I mean, you've been super successful at it, so why change it, right? But
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't want like a schedule telling me what I can and can't do, and then it's like, okay, if you have I get it on the aspect of not forgetting things, but if I'm trying to tell myself when I'm going to do things from this time to this time, I start asking, I'm like, okay, so what if I want to stop earlier and start on something else? They're like, oh, well, you can. And I'm like, okay, what if I don't want to do this one thing I've blocked out? They're like, oh, you can do that. You can move it around. Then I'm like, then what's the point of the schedule if I can just cancel everything? And they're like, it's just to like give structure. And I'm like, that sounds dumb. I'd rather have a list of like, hey, don't forget there's like 10 things you need to get done,
yeah.
but I want to decide when I do them, how long I do them for, if I stop and start and go do something else. And it's worked for me this far. I'm not saying it's what you should do, and I'm not saying it's what I'll do forever, but at the moment, I just kind of YOLO it every day.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's a good advice. I mean, Jeff Bezos too. Like I was reading an article. He's he only like does three things a day, and he answers three questions a day. That's like his business goal or something like that. So I mean,
Worth like 100 billion, you can really do whatever you want.
yeah, for sure. Like this podcast, every episode, I ask the same question at the end. About advice to yourself in the 5 years ago, and then 2018. What were you doing 2018?
I was I was contemplating moving to Texas in 2018. I was in Virginia working on my social media, trying to build the clothing, and I was going back and forth on my decision on moving to another state, which I never thought I would do.
So, what advice would you give yourself to you 2018 yourself?
Do it, you little bitch. No, I'd say like, just believe in yourself, go after it. I think I have a big thing that is about me is I have a lot of self-doubt in terms of what I feel like I can accomplish and what is attainable for me. And, I see a lot of other people have this success, but it's like, can I do that? Can I dream that big? Can I do this thing? And I think just knowing that anything is possible, and if I put my mind to it, I'm going to achieve it, and kind of just reassuring myself that everything's going to be okay and you'll make the right decision and to just go after it.
That's awesome. What about how do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, probably married with a kid, and I'm excited for that next chapter of my life to raise a little Maxi Poo. He won't be named Max, but raise a child, start a family, maybe build my dream home, and continue my life with my girlfriend and future wife.
That's awesome. How I think a lot of people want to know, like, how do you find the one, right?
You wait 7 or 8 years and you be single. I'm a big believer now that I've experienced it that the right person will come along and to not go chasing it. Because again, I was single for like 7 or 8 years and thought that I would just be single forever. And I was like, well, where am I going to meet this person? Am I going to have to like meet them at a Whole Foods or something, or like run into them at the dog park, or I have to go try, get on these dating apps? And it was just like, Taylor was someone that we knew of each other for years, but she was in a relationship and she never came out with our circle of friends. And one day she decided to come out with our group of friends, and because of that we hit it off, and it's just like it just worked out, and we went on one date with each other, and the rest is history. That
Yeah.
we yeah, it's like, you can't plan for it. And I think if you go looking for a significant other, it'll come to you when it least expects, and it hopefully will be the best thing that ever happened to you.
That's awesome. So while you're on the dating apps, did everybody knew like what you do and all that kind of stuff? Did you
Oh,
post
I
it
mean,
like
eventually. I mean, I think now dating apps probably they're gonna search their name, and I have a more unique name with the two X's that people probably can search on Instagram. So they probably learned about what I did really quickly, which trying to get people to wrap their head around that is a little different. Luckily with Taylor, she like was already kind of in this space and world, and she understood it and knew people that I knew. So it was this serendipitous thing that worked out.
Hmm, that makes sense. You know, yeah, I have in the notes like here that so you like Chipotle, right? You like margarita, right? If you have to get like a choose between margarita or Chipotle, which one would you choose?
I would get rid of Chipotle because there's a lot of other foods that I like, but frozen margarita, nothing can replace that. Nothing can replace a good frozen margarita. Nothing.
So, well, thank you so much for your time, Max. And then, is there like anything else that like? Oh, last question I wanted to ask you. Sorry that. So I emailed you, and then like I have like I'm not even like threshold to be like monetized on the YouTube or something like that. But like I don't know like if you checked what I'm doing or whatever. But like why did you decided to come on the show?
Because you asked me, dude. That's what it was. It was, it's like I'm like, hey, reach out to me if you would like me to be on it. And we made the schedule work, and yeah, I wanted to connect with people, and it wasn't like you checked off the boxes that I had. It's like you emailed me. Here I am, dude. I'm a man of my word.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. And then, someday, maybe, I have more like presence or whatever, social media, maybe 100,000 subscriber or whatever. That's not what the reason I'm doing it, but, hopefully I, I get some subscribers like that and then like maybe come to your show someday or like, that'd be cool.
You never know what the future holds, brother. Just keep on grinding, man. You're doing a good job. You got, as long as you're doing it because you like doing it, and you feel passionate about delivering a message or entertainment or value of some sort. Just stay on that path, and I think a lot of things that you never thought would happen to you, or your life's going to change in a certain way, and it's a beautiful thing to see it unfold. And I wish you the best of luck, man. I know you're going to do great.
Well, thank you for your time on that. Honestly, that, you know, I was in the dark place on like 3 years ago, and then I was in the parking lot. I never watched YouTube before then, and then uh, the how to beast video pop up, like it's like how to deal with anxiety or whatever, and then watched it, and then your video popped up, and then Christian's video popped up, and then that was like 10 o'clock at night, and then it was like I watched the YouTube that video, like you guys' you three's video till like 2 a.m. in the morning or something like that. And then I was at the time I was like 185 pounds, not muscle, just getting chubby. Like I used to be a skinny kid, but I got fat and all that kind of stuff, and I was depressed and all that stuff. Then like I started watching you guys' video and then fitness and vlog and being positive, all kinds of stuff inspire me to be, I went to go into the cage and fight and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, I know like you don't know anything about me and all that kind of stuff. It's like right now, like, I feel like I know a lot about you because I've been watching your stuff for so long and so many years. And then, like this morning I was even driving down to the office. I was watching your show, your Don't Be Sour show with Dane Cook, because I know you had a Dane Cook, like he was like your, I guess, big star, like celebrity you wanted to interview, and then I kind of wanted to see that like what you were acting towards to your idol and stuff. And then for me, like, I was like super like nervous, and I was like, hey, like if I just bomb this interview, it'd be like it'd be okay because I talked to Max, and that would be I will remember this moment.
Great, bro. It's a good conversation. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, thank you so much again, and then I hope to see you sometime in the Houston, first face to face, and then maybe work out together sometime or whatever. Maybe I'll teach you some jujitsu move or whatever. That'd be cool.
That'd be nice. That sounds like a lovely plan.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for coming in, and then thank you guys for watching this show. And then if you're watching YouTube, please like and comment, and then. Like as Max said at the end of the show, if you're watching a streaming service on iTunes or Spotify and then give us a 5-star, is that actually do the good things for your show?
I don't know. I only care about really the YouTube. So it's not that I don't care about people who listen, but it's like that's not a thought process. I forget that we're on all these other platforms because I'm just a YouTuber at heart. So I just want everyone to come watch the videos themselves.
Yeah.
So I just say, give us a 5-star review, and then I say I don't know what it does, but I think it helps.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it helps. And then hopefully we get a bunch of 5 stars. And then if you are, don't know Maxx Chewning, and then I'm going to put the link on the YouTube podcast, Don't Be Sour. I don't know what plug do you have?
Just come hang out on the YouTube channel, guys. Just search my name, Maxx Chewning. You'll find me. Hopefully you fall in love with the content. And then, if you want to learn more about the businesses and the partnerships that I have and you want to support, you'll find them from there. But just come and laugh and enjoy the vlogs.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you guys next Friday.